This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stockbox interview.
Well, today I'm joined by John Teeling, chairman of Arkle Resources. Following the news, the company has raised £500,000 in a premium placing to push forward work across its assets in both Ireland and Botswana. John, thanks for coming on. It's always good to speak. How are you doing today?
I'm good, from a very bright but very windy Dublin.
Excellent. That sounds good. So before we go on to how the money will be used, let's begin with the raise itself. So not only was the placing completed at a 28% premium to the market price, but in your RNS, you also mentioned you'd had to refuse some investment to avoid further dilution. So it sounds like demand to get in on this was really high. What do you think it is about the company that's got your investors?
Well, firstly, we were very pleasantly surprised because almost all of the money came from private investors out of the UK. And these were not our loyal investors that we've had with us for 20 years, who've been always very good at putting up money. If you look at our recent raises, that's where it has come from. These were new investors. And I think the reason for it is a realization that Limerick Zinc is a good story. And that Group 11, who's our partner in Limerick Zinc, has gone from 7 to 40 cents in Canada, has come back a little bit. And I think there's a strong connection between that. There's a realization that Arkle is undervalued relative to Group 11.
Excellent. Yeah. So they're wanting to get in on that opportunity now that.
Yes, that's what it is. Yeah. It was good to have to refuse investors. It's not something in recent years for junior explorers that is normal.
No, it's quite unique, really, isn't it?
It was a lovely feeling. It happened many years ago, but not for many years.
So yeah, last time we spoke, you told me your partner, Group 11, believes it's identified one of the most prospective targets in Ireland at the Stonepark project. So I guess with the raise out of the way, can you tell me about what you and Group 11 are planning next at the project?
Well, they're going to drill that target later this year. That's Group 11 will drill the target. But the reality of it is, if you can see this now, I'm going to not be a geologist. What they have is a thing called the Limerick Trend, which is going from Ballywire all the way through to Palace Green. On this side of a saucer, it's a saucer. This side, you have Palace Green here with 45 million tonnes. You have right beside it, next door, you have Stonepark. Go through the basin of the saucer to the far side, and you've Carrykittle West. Again, Stonepark licenses. That's the deep one. And beside that, then you have the Carrykittle, which is the 100% owned Group 11 licenses, and further then Ballywire. The results from Ballywire have been really very good. They're running 3 rigs at the moment. And I mean, it's quite sensible to keep drilling Ballywire while they're getting the results. But the story is that if you take 45 million tonnes, 5 million from Stonepark, both of those they're inferred resources. They're JORC resources. And then if you get another 5 or 10 or 15 million tonnes on the other side of the basin, which is about 10 kilometres in total, it's nothing. You have a very big resource that will be mined. There's no doubt it'll be mined. The question is when it will be mined. And the second question is who will mine it. And that's what the Canadian realisation, and that has been the basis of the rise in the Group 11 share.
I see. Yeah. So it's on anticipation of finding out that.
Yes.
Yeah. And do you know roughly when those sorts of results will be coming in? Is that over the near term?
Group 11 will be reporting other results, but the results have been very good, and they're drilling along a long trend in Ballywire. So those results should continue to be drilled. As you get closer to the centre of the basin, it gets a bit deeper. So the Carrykittle West, which is the most prospective target in Ireland, according to Group 11, on our ground, is 700-800 metres, which is deep enough. So they're drilling in that. But it's highly prospective, and it's the first time they found this particular structure since the structure had been found at Palace Green many years ago. So there's quite a bit of excitement about Limerick Zinc again for the first time in a long time. And so this first hole on this new structure is due to be drilled in the last quarter of this year by Group 11. Remember, they're our 77% partner, so they make the decisions on drilling. I think it'll be a function of how good the Ballywire is, also whether they keep drilling that. You will have probably noticed, maybe you haven't, your members might have noticed, that they have succeeded in raising money, more and more money at ever higher prices.
Right.
Over the last 6 or 7 months, because they've been producing good results. And that's the first time this has happened to us. So the money mainly will go on Stonepark on the first hole. There's also kind of a realization back to the saucer that the Stonepark high grade, we're the highest grade, over 11% combined lead and zinc. And given the price of zinc and lead, which is 2,700 and I think 2,000, it would be highly profitable if this was a mine at the moment. It would just be highly profitable. There's a realization that that is open on three sides. And if you had plenty of money, you would drill around Stonepark. Definitely out on it to try and find out if you can. There's some drilling, very limited drilling done on it, but some which didn't manage to extend the three pods we have. But it would be very nice if you could extend that from 5 to 10 million tons. That would be a function of if, as they get closer towards the possibility of mining, they will definitely do it, because that's you would add the Stonepark 11% ore to the 8% Palace Green ore to get a higher percentage running through the mill. And you got much greater efficiencies. And that's what they're hoping too on the south side of the basin. So it's just very exciting from a geological viewpoint and from a mining viewpoint.
Great, yeah. So this next round of work really stands to tell both.
It needs drilling. Unfortunately, all these things, they need a go bit of drilling. They're still drilling in Palace Green for after all these years and still adding ore. But, they don't have the high grade that Stonepark has, and certainly the very high grades that Ballywire are getting now on the other side of the basin. But it's not a big basin.
Okay, great. No, I look forward to hearing more from there. So that's Ireland. Another key area of focus for Arkle will be the Lithium Brines Project in Botswana, where detailed drilling programs are also being planned for the coming months. So will the funds...
Yeah, again, we're very lucky there, again, because we acquired a third license. So we now have 1,500 square kilometres of the Makati pans. And just to tell you very quickly, our first work was drilling to see if there were, and seismic, aerial geophysics, geochem, to see where the brines end. There was about an average of 30 metres, which is very good. The second was a very small drilling programme to see if there was lithium in the brines, and there was. Now, we have been suitably chastised by expert geologists who said you drilled 1 metre holes and you shouldn't dare make any assumption on what you get in a 1 metre hole, because you're only touching the brines. So we know a little bit better now. You will see from our more recent situations that we have a plan over the second license, the two licenses, but we'll have to extend it to the third to drill maybe 100, maybe 230 metre holes. So you go through the salt, the 1 metre, and go down into the brines. And you will take at least 20 tons of brines. That's a lot, maybe more, which will have to be shipped to India to these direct lithium extraction. And the reason for that is this extracts magnesium before it extracts the lithium. And the magnesium in the Makati pans are up to 2% now. If it was 2% over the whole 1,500 square kilometres, you'd have a huge deposit, but I doubt if it's that. But they were very good commercial grade magnesium deposit. And that would tell us what you actually have in terms of commerciality for magnesium and lithium. But this is a dual product exploration now. First thing we have to do, and we're just starting it, is we have to do environmental impact assessment, which is increasingly true throughout the mining world now, see what the impact will be. And given that this is an area of great beauty with flamingos and things like that, we have to be careful, and will be careful of that. The second place then will be, the holes are easy to drill. They're about 2 days a hole. It depends on many rigs, but we should have the money for that as well.
Okay, great. So it's just getting that environmental work out of the way, and then you could...
That's going to take 2 or 3 months. Yeah, that's going to start very shortly now. We have the funds for that. And the program, we had an original program that was done for the drilling, but with the third license, we'll extend it. That there's no point in going back in future to do more earlier work on it and bring in the third license.
Great. So potentially by the year end, or at least early next year, you might have results from drilling at both the Botswana...
No, I doubt very much we might, but yeah. I suspect we'll have drilling results from Stonepark, which is really going to be the focus for the next 2 or 3 or 4 months. The whole area, watching what's happening with our partners' results as well. Because if you add up the potential tons, and you get to 50 or 60 million tons of zinc ore, which has also lead and good quality silver, you have a substantial one. That would be one of the biggest known zinc resources in the world, not yet developed. That doesn't say it's going to be developed that quickly, but it is. It's a fabulous resource to have on that. That'll be the first. We're starting the EIA now. As I said, that could take 3 or 4 months to do it properly, because 1,500 square kilometres is quite a big area. And then we would be ready to commence the drilling. Drilling would be quick. Be early next year, yeah.
Great. Well, even still, that's a lot of news.
Oh yeah, I mean it's very good now that we have the money to do it and that there's interest in the project, particularly our zinc project. And there's more and more hope for this new method of extracting lithium and magnesium from brines. Brines is new. Most people think that lithium is a rock and you have to do hard rock mining, whereas the future lies in these huge salt pans, and it's in the salt water. So you take out the salt water and remove the lithium and the magnesium from the salt water.
Okay, well, I'll be keeping an eye out for developments from both of those projects then over the coming months, and hopefully we'll be able to discuss them again soon. For now, though, John, thank you again for coming on.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much for having me.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at StockBoxMedia.com. Thank you for watching.